Hello and welcome to the Boys on the Bus podcast. I'm your host, Terry, and I am delighted to be joined by Paul McFarlane. How are you,
How
Paul?
you doing, Terry? Yeah, I'm doing great, mate. Doing absolutely brilliant. Great to be back on.
Really, really good to see you. How long's it been since you and me did our last show together on the Boise Bus? It's got to be 2-3 years, something like that. Would it be?
I think it's more than three years.
Aye.
I think the last season was Angie's first season. First season was actually the last time that I was on with you.
It's great to see you again. It's good to see that Phil's starting you at the real bottom of the ladder here for you to build your podcasting career back up again. If you're back on with me again, he's starting you low.
It's just nice to be on with familiar faces again.
Oh, well, here it's nice to be on after a victory that looked as if it wasn't happening. My goodness, what a difference 5 minutes makes. Thank you to everybody who's joined so far. As you can gather, I'm just in a little state of shock actually, because a couple of minutes before the end of the Celtic game, I'm expecting myself and Paul to come on here with large numbers of infiltrators enjoying our pain, and within a 5 or 10 minute swing, we've actually gained 2 points. Crazy 10 minutes, a crazy 24 hours in this crazy season, Paul. Thank you to everybody who's joined us. I know there's loads and loads of pods on, as if your favourite one's still on, once you get off it, if you join us, very, very welcome. Anybody that watches back on replay, thank you all very much. If you can just give us a like, give us a share. I keep ballsing this up. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz that helps.
Basically, get those numbers up.
Yeah, there's a wee thing across the bottom there that tells you what to do. Everybody knows anyway. Where the hell do we start, Paul? This was a midweek that I had high hopes of Celtic making some inroads into at least one of the other two teams that are competing for this title, Hearts and Rangers.
Yeah.
I put myself through the ringer last night. I sat and watched all of that game. At no point, other than the fact Hearts have just been able to do it, at no point did they look as if they were going to win that game. But still, deep down in my gut, I had this awful feeling that they were going to get one, and they did. Then tonight, I mean, I've seen some crazy predictions where it was all sorts of scores between 4 and 7 that people were predicting, and this was the night we were going to close the gap on the goal difference. And the way the game started, going back to the Livi game, the previous one where it was 2-2 after 8 minutes, this one could have been 5-1 after 8 minutes, the amount of chances. Yeah. And it was shooting in. And I suppose at that stage, you're thinking, yeah, this could be a chance for us to get the goal difference back. Then you end up, you think the game's gone. Then you've got it back again. Then you're hanging on as Livi fire long ball after long ball into our box. And then once you just get recovered from that, you then flick over and Stephen Welsh has just scored an equaliser for 10-man Motherwell. Sum up for me how you're feeling right now, because I'm all over the place.
Well, you're not the only one. A lot of emotions after, like you said, after the last couple of nights. Hibs last night basically hipsed it for me. The old saying, you know. Hearts still grounding out the results tonight. What can I say? Celtic grinding out the results. That's all I can really say. The same as Hearts last night. They're grinding out the results, whereas I feel that under Nancy, we would have had the most possession, but nothing came out of it. Whereas tonight, we're grinding out these chances the way a championship winning team can. I still think that this after the way the results have went tonight, this could be the night that wins this league. There you go. I'm going to put it out there. This is the night that wins the league. Guaranteed.
I'm not going to be so bold, Paul. In fact, I don't know how many more of these nights I can take. I don't know if I'll see the rest of the season.
And I'll tell you something, Terry.
Oh, you'll be clipped all right. Don't worry about that.
In the comments that wants to come back against me with that, go right ahead, because I can guarantee you this is the night.
I hope you are right. Anyway, so let's not worry about Hearts. That was last night. 24 hours is a long time. Again, we're playing the worst team in the league by a long stretch. So happens we play the second worst team on Sunday. But Livingston are so bad. And again, this is one that really you have to feel, if you're going to win a league championship, you have to go and, make light work of this game.
Yeah.
And it certainly looked in the early stages as if we were going to do that. I wasn't exaggerating. The score could have been 5-1 after 8, 9, 10 minutes. Celtic had shot. Now they weren't brilliant efforts or brilliant attempts on goal, but they were attempts on goal. And shot from McGregor, shot from Maeda. Svenchara had one. He's got to score. He's got to score from there. Tanecki had one that was saved. Negrin had one that was saved. McGregor had another one. And you're just thinking, surely if we get through here, make the breakthrough, then Livi will fold and we'll run up as many as we want. We did get the breakthrough. Came from an unlikely source. Sriracha back in the team at the expense of Kieran Tierney, who was in the wars at the weekend. Just cover the team off with you, Paul, and get your view. I kind of thought he would come in, Sriracha, for Kieran Tierney. Really glad that he did. Really good player. See if we could get hamstrings into him, somebody else's hamstrings into him. He would be the player.
I'm actually still surprised that they're going with Maeda on the right.
Well,
because even though you went out of the game, Tanecki then changed over to the right, but Maeda did start there.
Yeah, they changed over really quickly. So Maeda on the right, Tanecki on the left, Svenchara through the middle, Engels, Negrin, and McGregor in the middle of the field. I wasn't surprised by that lineup, I have to say. The only surprise that I then had was that virtually from the off, Tanecki was on to the right, where one of our many previous managers this season said that he wasn't fit to play. I didn't think he was brilliant, but I thought he was equally as good on the right, perhaps, as he was on the left. I think what it says to me is that we haven't solved that right hand side problem that we knew we had post Nicholas Kuhn. We knew we had going into January. We seen Mvuka coming in. I probably was a bit cruel in my post-match analysis on Saturday, fueled by a few VODs, but I thought he was dreadful. Hopefully the next time he gets in, he's better. But see what was striking about the team lineup, not so much the starting 11. The bench felt a little bit more depth. Tierney on the bench, Adamu on the bench, the Ox, Hitati, Sinisalo, McKeown, Donovan, Forrest, just felt a little bit stronger than other benches that we've seen this season. And then think about the guys who didn't even make it to the bench. Yang, Ralston, Bernardo, Murray, Balikwisha, Iheanacho, Mvuka. That's a load of guys that we've been relying on some of those for spells this season.
I know. I just actually can't believe that some of them are actually not on the bench, and how Hitati can still make it on the bench. And I know you probably will come to that, but I still don't understand why he's in the squad now. because his head is gone. Totally. Hatate's head is gone now with this squad.
I think a lot of people share that view, Paul, and certainly doing the post-match shows here, there's a lot of people at the end of their tether with Hatate. I suppose if I try to think about it, when Engels got hurt and you knew there was a change going to be made, would you have brought somebody else on? Because my go-to would have been Hatate, and I think that's probably it's based on what I think he can produce rather than what he's been producing. And I just felt this game, the way it was playing out, we needed a spark of creativity. And quite often in the past, he's been the guy that's delivered that. Now, I have to say, he was very, very poor when he came on, and he has been very, very poor virtually all of this.
I actually have to disagree. I actually have to disagree with you with bringing Hatate on for Engels.
Yeah,
I actually thought he would have brought McCown on and moved Negrin into the centre. I thought McCown would have get played out in the right. I thought he would have changed that about.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it? Because McCown on the right hand side of midfield has been absolutely brilliant this season when he's been in the team. But bringing Hatate in with the players that we've got on the park just now, there's too many ball players. We need someone in there with a bit of grit in the team. Not a skillful player, just a right good physical player in the middle. If we had that, our midfield would be perfect.
Can the Ox be that player? We'll touch on him. No, we'll not talk about him now, but we'll bring him in later on.
And I'm not saying that just because of what happened at the end. What do you call it? I think he could be that holding player which would allow McGregor to go forward more. Because I think he's actually losing part of his career by staying in that position. I think McGregor's better going forward.
If we look at some of those ones, Paul, I can't imagine Yang's just been completely dropped. I'm guessing he's maybe just been given a bit of a rest. He's played quite a lot. He was the one player who actually looked better under Wilfred Nancy. I can't imagine he's bombed completely. I don't want to see both Ralston and Donovan on a bench because I think that's a waste. Bernardo, pretty damning that he's out.
Bernardo should go, in my opinion.
And Vigu out after one game. Again, that was the one guy we were trying to spend money on.
But I actually think, Terry, they brought him in his debut for that one half to see what he was actually like because of what happened during the transfer window and because of him failing his medical and then they had to change all the deal. I actually think they've brought him in on his debut to actually see what he could do in the park. You know, with his fitness.
He can't do things like that in a Scottish Cup game for Celtic, though.
I know that, but that's what I feel that they've done. This has been a season of weird decisions, and believe me, that was one of them.
We can't write him off, Paul. We have to hope beyond hope that there's something better there than what we've seen. 45 minutes, even for me, would be a bit cruel to completely write him off. One strike and one for me is Murray. No Dane Murray. And again, that plays into a little bit of a conversation that we'll have later about our previous fourth choice centre back. So the lad Ben Arthur from Brentford. See, when I keep hearing his name, I keep thinking about there was a footballer called Ben Arfa, and I think he played for AC Milan or something and transferred for 30 or 40 million. And just to hear the name, I keep thinking, we haven't signed him. He's probably about 50 now. But he came in, Dane Murray. I'm not a massive fan, I have to say. So if this lad, what I really wanted us to do in terms of centre back was bring in someone who was better than both Trusty and Scales.
Yes.
I don't think that would have been too much to ask. Can it be this guy? I don't see how it can be when he's only played two adult games. But has Martin already decided he's better than Dane Murray? If he has, then that's okay with me. Balikwisha, I think, is a busted flush. He's done. There's no way he's getting game time under Martin. Iheanacho, God knows he could be injured again. You know, he came back and played a few.
And you actually get injured in training.
Oh, I
on
did.
30 grand a week he's on, and he gets injured in training. I think they should actually just rip up his contract now.
These are the mistakes you make in moments of desperation. So, Paul, we get the lead. Sriracha touched on it. Unfamiliar source, but had a good game. And again, I really, really wish we could get this guy fit and get a proper look at him. You could make an argument that when he's played, he's looked every bit. Looked every bit the player that Tierney has. In the moments that he's played. And
I actually feel that, what do you call it? They've got a find here. I think if they can make a deal with his club and get a good deal for him, for the player, for his own club to come to Celtic full time, we should go for him. That should be one of our main targets in the summer. But I think that if we don't get him, I think that where the talks coming in about Greg Taylor coming back.
We'll see.
So I actually think Greg Taylor will be the go-to if the Sriracha deal doesn't get over the line.
See, I read a piece for Greg Taylor, and he said that he made the decision to go because he didn't feel it was a level playing field, and he was going to be back up. So I couldn't personally see that one happening. I did touch on there's the rumours about Andy Robertson don't go away. He's free in 6 months. He's best friends now with Ox-Chamberlain. Could that be a link? I mean, it sounds crazy that you could have both Tierney and Robertson vying for one position, but stranger things have happened, I suppose. But
Tierney and Robertson will get a good partnership playing for Scotland. And they actually both help each other on that left-hand side. Tierney always gets into a central defensive midfield. Defensive centre-back and also defensive midfield when Robertson's on the left. I think that actually would help. Perhaps it was part of Wilfred Nancy's master plan. He was going to have Tierney on the left-hand side of the three, overlapping Robertson out on the left wing-back position. But the man that's there at the minute is Sriracha, and it was a really, really good finish. Goalkeeper doesn't move. Sort of struck me a little bit like one that Schmeichel let in recently. I think it was the one away in they call that team we played, Bologna. Bologna. Not the same strike, but just the way the goalkeeper was completely rooted to the spot. I don't think he's seen it early enough. But to use a Neil Lennon word, there was a lot of swaz on it. These modern day balls, if you catch them right, they just fly all over the place, and he's just caught it flush and flies into the net, and you're sort of sitting back thinking, happy days, we've got the breakthrough here. This is going to be plain sailing, anything but. Yeah, definitely. I genuinely think that all the play that we had in that first half was, I don't know, it wasn't the best for Celtic. It genuinely was not the best for Celtic. I'm exhausted after the full game, never mind that last minute. I genuinely think that our play just now, like Smell the Glove said, is just to win games. I just feel that it's basically to go over the line. And I would be happy with that. We don't have to win the Celtic way this season. This season is just about getting over that line and winning the league. Yeah, it'd be nice every now and again, all the same. Oh, of course. Well, we've got Ibrox coming up. That could be the game that we do it. Because they're not playing well. Paul, I expected then the game to play out differently. Engels went off not long after we took the lead, and game kind of petered out then to half time. We had a bit of a flurry at the start of the second half. There was a Hatate cross, which Svanchara couldn't get on. There was one from Tanetki, both one after each other, and Big Thomas, he just seems to be struggling to get that clear-cut opportunity. Yeah. Well, he did have the clear-cut opportunity at the start of the game, but a lot of crosses coming in, and they're
they're either getting cleared by the guy in front of him or they're too far ahead of him, and it's just not dropping for him. I think he's made a positive contribution. I'd like to see him start to get a run of goals.
But do you feel that the team and the coaches have told him to play the ball at his feet all the time? I feel he'd be better as the target man with his height. But they seem to be playing the ball to his feet. Whereas Arojo is the type that would go, play with his feet to score. He's a penalty box striker. But I feel that they should play Big Tam, as it were, as I call him. I think they should play him as a target man.
See, I look at it a little bit different. I think they are using him as a target man, but not just by lashing the ball in the air to him. The ball's coming up to him and he's controlling it and he's bringing other players into the game. I think that's something that he's done really, really well. I think he looks like a striker that is low on confidence and hasn't scored an awful lot of goals in the last couple of years. And I just feel if we're going to go on and get this job done, we're going to need one of these centre forwards to hit a run of form. He's the most likely one. Adamu got his goal at the weekend, got another half hour tonight. Iheanacho, as you said, if he's injured again, we need somebody to get a run in the team and start to find the net on a regular basis. Paul, Livingston equalised on the 55th minute. What's your view of the penalty kick?
Definite penalty. Just a total crazy decision for Hatate. Not watching around him what's going on. Taking a swing at the ball without actually looking behind him to see who's coming. It was a definite penalty.
Yeah. Commentator said he was unlucky, and I get that to a certain degree because he's gone to clear the ball and the man has come from nowhere. But it's your job to be aware of what's happening around you. He has to be more aware. There's no spatial awareness there. There's no awareness of who's where. And he's taking a lash at it. And absolutely no argument whatsoever. Referee obviously had blown his whistle before it even happened. But yeah, no criticism in terms of that one. And they score. The guy smashes it down the middle. Schmeichel again goes to his left-hand side. 1-8.
How do you feel on Schmeichel?
I've been a critic on here, Paul, and I try really hard, and I think I have to give him praise when it's just, because I do criticize him quite a lot because I just expect better from him sometimes, and I think some of the stuff that he does is it's rash and it's poor decision making from a very, very experienced goalkeeper. Now, he made a save during that flurry of efforts early in the game. The one that I said that they could have scored, he made a really, really good save. And I think that's when he's at his best, when he's making instinctive saves, when guys are making attempts on goal from close in. I think his problem is when he has time to think about things, even when the ball's at his feet, and he has time to think about what pass he wants to play. I think his mind starts to wander and a carelessness creeps in with him. Yeah. Now, I was one for giving Cincelo a run, but again, really, when on the face of it, when he has played, has he really been convincing enough for us to say Schmeichel out and this guy in? So I'm kind of.
But is that not just down to? Is that not just the guy? Is it not just down to not enough game time? Because when you look at the time that they brought him in the last time and he got a good run of games, he was brilliant.
But then when he played against Livi and he got beat twice from. I mean, I thought they were good finishes, but a lot of people were critical. I think to cut a long story short, if I had to pick a Celtic team, and I really wouldn't want to be in this position, if I had to pick a Celtic team tomorrow to save my life, I would go for Schmeichel. Out of the two, just for now. Yeah. Just for now. But I don't want him to be our goalkeeper next season. That's probably the best way. I'm happy for him to be number one the rest of the season. But I don't want him being our starting goalkeeper next year. After that, Paul, we started to make loads of changes, and it almost felt, I said to you before we come on, it almost felt like a Wilfred Nancy performance, because the first half was, for most of the part, it was gung-ho, it was chance after chance after chance. We just couldn't get the job done. And then in the second half, it was really poor, disjointed. Livingston got back in it within 10 minutes, and we couldn't create that chance that we needed to get the second goal.
Yeah.
And the game really, really became disjointed. Livingston had something to hold on to. They were starting to roll about. They were feigning injury. They were exaggerating every time the ball went dead. Referee was playing into their hands a little bit. He was giving soft ones. He gave a free against Araho. That is never a free in a million years. He's given a handball against Callum McGregor. That wasn't a handball. He's allowing play to get broken up and disjointed. And there was almost from that goal through until virtually the end of the game, it felt as if there were spells of 3 and 4 minutes where nothing was happening. The game was getting stopped, and then it was starting again for 2 or 3 minutes. Then it was stopping again for 2 or 3, and we couldn't get any rhythm going. The quality of the balls into the box from both sides were very, very poor. It was difficult, and it is difficult when virtually there's 11 defenders, a goalkeeper and 10 defenders in a penalty area, and that's pretty much how it was. They were camped in, and it is difficult. But
I would actually give Tenecti's chance there, because at least he tried to get to the byline. When you're saying there about the ball's in, at least he's trying. I know Tenecti gets a really bad time for some of the Celtic fans, probably for me too. But I really do like him. At least he's trying to get to the byline, and that's something that our wingers have not done for a long time.
I like him. I like him as well, Paul. But again, I think I have to caveat that with he has had some poor performances too. I just I like his desire to go at his man every single time, even if it's not working for him. He's still doing what I expect a winger to do. I do think there's a lot of room for improvement with his final ball. But again, if he was the full package, he wouldn't be playing on the wing for us. So 15 minutes to go, plus stoppage time, and we send for James Forrest. Again, just shows you where we're at with that right wing position. We need a goal. We're reaching out for James, but also we then get the introduction of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who we signed after the closure of the transfer window. This guy came in. People were liking it to Aaron Ramsey signing for Rangers. I think it's totally different. We've signed this guy. He's our player, albeit on a short-term contract. He's not alone. We're paying all of his wages. Now, did I expect to see the impact that I seen tonight? I hoped we would. I was more than happy for him to be brought on, because I'm just thinking, at that time, I'm thinking, this is slipping away here. And I just said to myself, it would be the most Martin O'Neill thing ever if he brings on the Ox and the Ox scores the winner. And did I think it was going to happen? No. But what a moment. What a moment. And again, I know you're very, very bullish, and I'm delighted with that. If we get this job done at the end of the season, that's going to be one of the moments that gets played over and over and over again, because it might be
it's quality. It's a quality player, and that's what Martin O'Neill said he wanted in. Better quality. And it doesn't, you know what, we always sign these players and they go, oh, here we go. You know, here we go with this signing. He's in his 30s. He's never going to do anything. Age is nothing in football.
Well, Paul, if he does nothing else, that moment is, you know, it could be priceless. It could be.
What did I tell you? this is the night.
And
I'm
it's
sticking by it.
It's Taneki again who gets the assist.
Yeah.
Quite similar to the dramatic winner at the weekend. He's trying to make things happen. This time he does pick out a Celtic jersey, and it's a pass. It's a curled pass into the corner of the net. And what a moment. I mean, what a moment even just for the guy himself. You know, he hasn't played a competitive game of football since May, as everybody has been telling us. That's the reason why he's going to fail. That's the reason why it's a big risk. Blah, 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 blah. What a moment for him to come up here and try to make a difference for Celtic and to have that impact within the first 15 minutes. Really, really special moment. And just so relief. And then, Paul, I don't know about you, but from that moment then, I'm thinking it would just be so Celtic here if we concede another one. And with Livingston not having threatened from the equalised, I felt that last 5 minutes or 4 minutes of added time, I felt we were hanging on a little tiny bit. And I don't know if that's just my natural panic setting in, or did we actually retreat a little bit and invite them on?
No, that actual 4 or 5 minutes at the end wasn't because of that. It was because of a referee finding fouls out of nothing to actually give. And I'm not the type of person that blames the ref. I would rather say our team played well or our team played crap. I'm not a person that, you know, goes in the ref all the time, but I have to admit tonight the referee was doing everything to get Livingston into that game at the end. He was finding fouls out of nothing. Livingston were not good in that last. We didn't fall back. It was the referee trying to help Livingston, and I'll stick to that.
What were the Livingston players? What were they going mad at the end, Paul? I didn't quite notice that. Was it? Did they think they had a call for another penalty, or was it because he blew up straight on 6 minutes?
No. It was because there was a possible handball in the box. Now I didn't actually, because it happened that quick, I didn't actually see, and obviously Celtic TV didn't show the the footage right after it, so I don't know whether it was or not. But that's exactly what it was.
It definitely wasn't, because if there was the slightest hint that it was, it would have been given.
No, I think the reason why they shouted is because the minute it was the handball, obviously under the rules you're supposed to go straight to VAR.
Yeah.
But he blew the whistle. He didn't give VAR the chance, and I think that's why they just went off their head at him. Because basically you're supposed to wait until he gets the word in his ear, but obviously because he's blew the whistle,
right,
then VAR can't come back into it. VAR can't restart the game.
I thought VAR could get you back off the team bus if they looked at one and decided they could find a way to give a decision against us. Anyway, I'm not watching it back. I don't want to see it. It is what it is. A couple of comments there I was picking up on. Dan the Man, thank you for gifting membership. There was also a comment from good friend Stevo, who has just got a little night in the hospital and having some Celtic content to get him through the night. I'm sure there'll be plenty of stuff that you can tune into, Stevo. But
all the best, mate.
I don't think you saw the game, mate, but it might be better for you if you didn't see it. Paul, that probably was enough for me. Again, I'd hoped we would have gained some momentum last night. That didn't happen. I'd hoped we would have gained some momentum tonight. By the end of that game, I was just happy to get the 3 points. I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that whilst I think there is a reasonable chance this could go to goal difference, I don't think we're going to win it on goal difference. But there was another twist in the evening. And again, it's such a Martin O'Neill thing. He brings back Stephen Welsh. And then at the very, very end of the window, loans him back to Motherwell. Then 5 minutes after Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain that Martin O'Neill brought in after the window closes, Stephen Welsh then rescues a point for Motherwell against Rangers. 10-man Motherwell against Rangers. I could not believe what I was seeing. That was bang on the 90th minute. It's just a fairy tale. It just had to be Stephen Welsh. Do you know what I mean? And it was a really good finish. It was a really good finish.
Do you think Stephen Welsh's goal is the one that wins the league?
It might be. It might be. But did you see it? It's a really good finish.
I did see it, yes. I was watching it just before we come on air.
It's a cracking finish. But here's the thing with Stephen Welsh. If we hadn't brought him back for that 2-week spell, there's every chance he would have played 2 or 3 games for Motherwell and been injured and not played tonight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just the crazy.
It feels like you say like a Martin O'Neill masterstroke. He actually brought him back. I think they brought him back to try and be part of the Mawanisa deal. But in another way, I think they brought him back to give him a couple of weeks rest.
Well, yeah, I think both of those things are potentially valid. I think there definitely was interest in Mawanisa. There was also a clause in the deal that if Celtic were going to recall him, it had to be done by the 14th. We weren't certain at that point that we were going to get another centre back in. If we hadn't brought Welsh back by that date, then we couldn't have brought him back. So that would have left us. With the 2 that we've got that I've got question marks over, and Dane Murray, which just would not have been a situation that we wanted to be in. But
I've actually got. I hope you don't mind. I've got a question for you and for the viewers as well.
Yes, go ahead.
If we were not in a title race at the moment, the way it's going, how close it is, do you think that Martin O'Neill would have changed the system to a 3-5-2 and put Arthur in as part of a 3 and put Tam and Adamu up front? Because from what I'm hearing about this Arthur, he's supposed to be a right good talent.
Yeah, I suppose the most ironic thing probably would be if Martin O'Neill did revert to a back 3 to get the job done whenever it was Wilfred Nancy coming in with his grand idea of a back 3. Martin O'Neill's back 3, if it did happen, would look very, very different to Wilfred Nancy's. And in many ways, there was a short movement to a back 3 there tonight because although Hattati kind of dropped into sort of the right back or advanced right back role towards the end. It wouldn't surprise me, Paul, if you did see it at some point. There might come a time in a game where it's the right thing to do. I think that's Martin O'Neill will do what he believes is the right thing to get the result. And if there's a game where he thinks it's the right way to go, it wouldn't shock me if he did it. Or if there's a situation in a game where he thinks that's the way to change it to get the result, it wouldn't faze me and it wouldn't bother me, because his 3-5-2 would look completely different and feel completely different to what Wilfred Nancy was serving up to us. So in answer to your question, I'm trying to remember when he was at Forest and he was the manager of Republic of Ireland. I'm trying to remember, did he still go with the 3? Because that's the formation that he played at Celtic for the vast majority of the time.
Yeah.
When he was here 25 years ago. And if you remember those three centre backs, Baldi, Valgarin, and Mialbi, and then there were other players that kind of come in at certain points, but they were all big, strong specimens at centre back.
Physical, yeah.
And this young lad, despite his young age, he's a mountain. And it'll be interesting to see if we do see the lad at some point. You'd have to think at some stage something will happen in a game. We could go down to 10, something like that. You have to think at some point we might have to rely on this young fella. So I definitely wouldn't rule anything out, but I definitely wouldn't rule out a move to a back 3 at some point, either through choice or necessity. Paul, I'm going to let you go because I promised you it would be half an hour. We're now on to 40, and during the week,
I don't mind, mate. I don't mind. It's just nice to be back.
I usually stick to the half hour, and then at the weekends I'll go a wee bit mad, depending depending whether the VOD's out or not.
Nothing changes there then, eh?
I had a nightmare on Saturday night. My battery started running out on the laptop, and it packed it in. And then Phil just joined the show in seconds despaired to rescue it. And then I dialed back in again from my phone, but that's slightly worse for wear. So anyway, that's it. We usually look at this stage to the next 5 games. I can't even look any further ahead than the next 10 minutes. Getting to my bed, getting another pod on to sit and get some more insight into what we've just witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping, Paul, we'll see a bit more of you on the pod. Is that fair to say? Yeah.
Any time I'm needed, I'll be here.
Aye. Okay. So just look ahead to Sunday. We've got Kilmarnock on the plastic. We've then got that game at Ibrox between Rangers at Hearts, where I still feel a draw is the best outcome for us. But again, you could be torn at some point, because I don't think I want Hearts to win that game. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And at some point you could be watching that and almost.
When you look at all the scenarios,
I can't even bring myself to say it, but you know where I'm going.
Yeah, when you look at all the scenarios that could happen, a draw would be the most perfect result for us. As long as we win our games, we'll win that league.
That's the main thing. As long as we win our game, and that's the main thing about Sunday. Let that other game take care of itself. Whatever will be. But we have to win that game. And as you've also said, every single game now, it just needs to be won on its own merits. Whether it's pretty, whether it's not, whether it's home, whether it's away, every single game is going to play out.
It's 11 cup finals. It's 11 cup finals.
Oh,
that's the only way I can put it.
Absolutely. But how much of a damp squib would it have been, Paul, if you were getting into Sunday knowing that one of those two teams was definitely going to drop points, if not both, and we had slipped up tonight? How flat would it have felt? I know for a fact. I know for a fact. My gut feel was, with 5 minutes to go, that was it, done. If we didn't get that goal tonight,
you actually weren't the only one, because I basically went to the bathroom because my emotions were all over the place. So I just went to the bath. I actually missed the winning goal. I had to take my wife screaming.
Just go for somewhere to hide.
Probably that too. What do you call it? It was my wife down the stair and her screaming. That's when I knew we'd got the winner. That's how bad it was with the emotions. What does Celtic do to us?
I know. Let's hope. I hope beyond hope Sunday is a little bit easier on my ticker, because I just can't go through too many more of these. And I spare a thought for poor Martin O'Neill. My ticker's near 50, but his is nearly 75, and it's just unbelievable. Thank you very much. There's 184 in the chat. Thank you to every single one of you. Thank you to everyone who listens back on repeat. If you haven't already, give us a like and a subscribe and hit the bell and all that kind of jazz on your way out. But we've got the job done. We're still in the title race, and the Ox has arrived. So thank you very much.
Ox in the box.
Joining me. The Ox in the box. Or was he in the box or just on the edge of the box?
Listen, wherever he was, he done the right thing.
He did. Happy days. Hail, hail, everyone. Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys.